However, if you've joined us, let's begin with some breathing meditation, some breathing exercises. I invite you to sit back, relax your body. Let's bring our attention, our awareness to our breathing. Just noticing how we are feeling and how is our breathing in this moment. Noticing the breath going in as we inhale and the air coming out as we exhale. And without any judgments, let's just acknowledge however we are breathing. And let's take 3 cleansing breaths. With each breath going a little deeper and slower. And after the 3 breaths, let's let the breathing go in its natural cycle. And let's make an intention for this session to be fully present, putting our things to do on a side, telling our body, telling our mind that I am present, I will be present to get the best out of today's session. All right, so with that, let's bring our palms together, rubbing them, feeling the warmth over our eyes, our face. And taking a time, open your eyes. Get started. So today's session, welcome again to the New You program. We are now in week 10. And today we will be covering balancing our mind. We'll focus on balancing our mind with sight and sound, and also we'll learn about chakras and a wonderful practice that can help us balance. So if you took your 2 Ayurveda quizzes already, you know which is your natural state of balance, the Vata, Pitta, or Kapha. And the second quiz that if you took would give you what is your current state of balance, where you may be out of balance at the moment. If you have not, again, I'll share the links. You can take these anytime. And matter of fact, the Vikriti quiz, the second one, the one that changes depending on what's happening in our life, is something that you can do every 4 to 6 weeks or when you feel you're out of balance. So when you took those quizzes, you got some numbers. And today we will be looking at the mind side of those numbers. So what that means is if you answered, depending on how you answered the questions such as I'm feeling unmotivated, or I'm procrastinating, or I feel like withdrawing or not dealing with life, or if you're having a difficulty waking up in the morning, depending on how you answered, what you would have gotten is scores in the mind category. And whichever one of these 3 is leading, meaning it's the highest. As an example, 20 is the highest. If that is the case, that means you need ways to balance your Kapha side. Similarly, it could be that you need to balance your Vata or your Pitta. And the way we balance our mind in Ayurveda is through 3 things, through 3 S's, sound, sight, and smell. And we'll look at 2 of them today, lightly. And we'll go more deeper in our next future course on holistic health. So if we think of sight, right, and as you're looking at this image on the right side, why do we sort of get drawn to peaceful images, peaceful sights? And the reason is simple, that everything that we take through our eyes. All right. So the reason is simple, right? Everything that we look at, that sensory information comes through our eyes, right? And it has far-reaching effects on our mind, on our body, on our emotions, and our spirit. And further, it helps the peaceful images, the beautiful images, whether it's nature, whether it's water, right? It stimulates health-promoting chemicals. So naturally, we all know that it is good, right? To walk in the nature, go sit by water, look at mountains, and so forth. So just to prove this further, let's spend next about 10 seconds looking at these following images. Mm-hmm. And now, as you looked at these images, I would like to ask you a question. How did they make you feel? And again, see if you can acknowledge, did you feel sad or did you feel happy? Did you feel anxious or did you feel energized? Did you feel warm or did you feel lonely? Did you feel cold or did you feel warm? And did it help you calm down? Did you feel contentful or fearful? Did you feel tired or did it give you energy and wake you up? And the chances are that these wonderful images, loving images of nature, helped you reduce stress. It helped you versus looking at something like news, right? Which on most days causes us more stress. So I think the conclusion is simple. The conclusion is that sight, although we're talking about balancing, we can also start to think of it that what we look at can help us heal. And if you, again, have taken your quizzes and depending on which of the areas you need to balance, again, likely we'll touch on today is that if your vata needs balancing, you meaning you're all over the place, you're like that hummingbird, then in introducing certain colors, such as pastels, earthy reds, greens, and browns will help you. Why? Because remember, in Ayurveda, the simple rule is that we bring in opposite colors. Just because we are air, if we are vata, in order to bring us balance, we bring in opposite, which is ways for us to ground. So if you had a pitta imbalance, meaning you are naturally intense and hot and fiery, however, you need a pitta imbalance, meaning you have too much of that, then bringing in colors that are blue, white, or green can help you cool. So think of water as an example. Water has a natural effect, right, of helping us cool down. And similarly, if you're a kapha, right, if you are that swan, too much of a swan or is again not so good, right? So we need ways to get us going. So if you have a kapha imbalance, think of bringing in bright reds, orange, or yellow. Think of sun as an example to get you going. And similarly, again, another example is that vatas, or if you have a vata imbalance, you can benefit from large bodies of earth and desert, going in the mountains, going in the nature, because it will sort of ground you down. It will bring you in the present moment, regardless of whatever is going on. Similarly, pitta, being near water, any ocean or river or pond will help you, again, cool down that fiery energy in you. And similarly, if you are a kapha and you're having a hard time getting it going, images of fire, sunshine will help you get going. Now, the question is, how can you do this? And what I'll leave you with a simple tip is that it can be as simple as a screensaver, right? Maybe we cannot change the colors of our paint in our rooms or our homes that often. However, what we can do is what we look at, right? So whether it's a view in your window, like for me, it's nature outside, there's trees and plants. But if you cannot do that, if you live in a city, perhaps, right, you can put a small plant in front of on your desk that you look at, or something as simple as changing your screensaver on your computer or your phone can be another way, or put a small painting. So something as simple as that can again help you, and that's what Ayurveda again continues to remind us, that change your expressions, change what you look at, change your impressions, and you can change your life. So that's one way of balancing. The second way now is, another way is through sound. And I would like you to ask yourself this question and reflect for a few seconds. What sounds do you love to listen to, right? Naturally, when you are in balance, what is that kind of music that you like to listen to? What kind of music brings you joy and energy? So let's take 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And if you like, you can again share that in the chat as well. So what you'll likely notice is that there's certain kinds of sounds that you love that are naturally on your playlist. Now, that may be wonderful, right, when we are in balance. However, when we are out of balance, right, what Ayurveda tells us is that we can bring opposite sounds. So again, the example that I will give you is that if you have a vata imbalance, meaning you're all over the place, on a good day, when you're in balance, playing some hard beat music may be good for you. But when you're all over the place, what you need is grounding. And this is where grounding music, soft music that will bring you down will help you. Similarly, if you have a if you have a pitta imbalance, meaning you're too fiery and it's the end of the day and you're having a hard time winding down, again, upbeat music is not the music to use. So you bring in the opposite. So you bring in music that chills you, that cools you down. And lastly, if you are a kapha, even though, again, you may like upbeat music, what you need, even though you may like calming music for the kaphas, right? In order to get you going, get you out of the bed, get you to go out, take a walk, whatever that, is your goal is, what you need is now music that boosts your energy, that has a lot of, drumming sounds as an example, right? That kind of gets you going. So what I'll share later on is I'll share 3 playlists that are there on Spotify, which you can listen for free. And again, keep them handy depending on what you need that day, right? If you need to calm down, if you need to ground yourself, play the first one, the vatas. If you need to, again, if you're too fiery, play the second one. And if you need to get going, play that third one. Again, you can make your own playlist, but this will be there as an example. All right, let's checking the chat. Running water, birds chirping, smooth jazz. Thank you, Brent. And W, I like hearing birds chirping, waterfall sounds, light music, raindrops, and silence. Yes, those are all wonderful sounds. Like as an example, that I recently bought this device which plays some of those sounds to help you sleep, right? But hopefully you get the point that the idea here is to bring in the opposites when you need it, right? So next, what I would like to touch on is that there's many ways to heal through sound, right? Just like how you described, few of you in the chat, there's sounds of nature, right? Similarly, there are mantras. If you've been to a yoga class or if you've done any chanting or if you heard of the mantras typically don't have a specific meaning, but they are there for the sound vibration qualities of it, right? However, repeating them, chanting them can help us heal. Similarly, we know of the music that we've been talking about. Further, today I would like to touch you on that there's this chakra sounds that we will be getting into a few minutes. And by toning our chakras, we can again heal with sound as one of the ways. And similarly, we can heal with speech, with conscious communications. So what does that mean? Let's get into a little bit of the chakras. So first of all, you may have heard of this term. You may know of it a little bit, but let's revisit it. If you're very new to this, no problem. Let's go through it in very simple step. What are chakras? Chakras you can think of as simply energy points in your body, right? And these energy points are there, and the question is, are they in sync, right? Or are they out of sync? Are they in balance, or do they need balancing? There are 7 main chakras, and they run from the bottom of your body, right? From your bottom of your spine, up your spine. You can think of it that way, right? All the way up to the crown. And each of these chakras has a color, and it is associated with a specific need in our human needs, such as the first one is the root chakra, right? Think of it all the way at the base of your spine. And that is what helps us ground, right? When we feel grounded, think of it like right now as I'm going over through these, bring your attention, your awareness to the bottom of your spine and feel your body sitting down, touching the chair or whatever you're sitting on. And just feel yourself grounded. So the second one now, above that, right, a little bit above that is your sacral chakra, right? This is your area of creativity, sexuality. And think of color orange here. So again, take a moment to shift from the base of the spine to a little bit higher. And number 3, going a little bit higher to your solar plexus, right? Think of the color yellow, visualize that. So this color is think of now digestion happening in your stomach and your personal power. The 4th one coming to your heart, visualize green. And just for a moment, think of love, compassion. Coming higher to your throat area. And again, visualize the color blue or simply touch your throat and think of communication. 3rd eye is intuition, right? So now simply think of indigo or purple. And then the 7th chakra is your crown, right? And think of purple or violet or white, that bright light, that wonderful light. So each of these chakras also you can work on them in many ways. Each of them has, when I was talking about mantras earlier, each of them also has a mantra associated with each of them, right? And what we do in a chakra meditation, which can be done in many variations, right? It can be done in many ways, is simply we work with each chakra and see which one is perhaps where your energy is stagnant, where is that again you feel a little bit constricted versus open. Simple way of looking at it. And by working on each of those areas, you can start to open it up. Now, there's many ways to do this. Like I said, you'll find many meditations where you can go from the bottom, working one at a time, all the way up. Or what you can do is you can meditate, or you simply reflect or work with any one of those areas with a color, with a sound, or an affirmation. So as an example, if there's a specific area that you choose to work on, let's say you want to work on being more expressive, you're having a hard time communicating or saying what you feel, or you feel like you're not able to confidently get up and give a speech, or simply say no to things that you should be saying no to, then you can pick one of these areas, such as your throat area, right? So again, you can work on all of them, or you can pick a specific area. So as an example, with an affirmation, if you were working with, for the bottom, you would say, I am safe, I am safe, I'm safe. And you would repeat that again and again. Then you would work on, I'm creative, start to again open up and be able to express. I am powerful, I am loved, or I am love, right? I am expressive, I am intuitive, and finally, I am divine. Now, each of these chakras also has a Sanskrit name, and some people get drawn to that, right? By saying the names as you go through them. Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anata, Vishuddha, Ajna, Sahasra. Again, the point here is whatever way works for you, whatever resonates with you. If you're a visual person, think of the colors. If you like sounds, repeat the mantras. If you like simply affirmations, then simply repeat that, because they all work, or a combination of them work. So with that, let's do a little exercise to get us from, again, a little bit academic. What I ask you is to invite you to join me in standing. And let's find a nice standing posture. Let's bend our knees slightly, pressing our feet down. Let's start with grounding our feet, pressing our feet down, bringing our awareness to the base of the spine, right? You can, if you like, you can bring your palms to the base of the spine, just like in the photo. And imagine, visualize the color red. Moving our palms up, slightly up. Let's visualize the color orange. Moving further up to our solar plexus. Let's visualize yellow. And again, if you like, you can repeat the affirmations. I am powerful. Moving up to your heart, the color green. I am loved. Matter of fact, if you like, even hug yourself, feeling that love. Or open your heart up, saying, I love, I am love, I love, unconditional love. Bringing your palms to your throat area with the color blue. I am expressive. If your mind counters, just repeat it again and again. I am expressive. And visualize that color. Matter of fact, visualize something turning, opening up. Going further, raising the palms up to your third eye, visualizing the color indigo or purple. I am intuitive. And then going all the way up to your crown, your head area, with the color violet or white. I am divine. And bringing your palms down. Let's take a pause. Let's do some tapping. Flat palm or a fist, starting from our fingers, tapping up our arms, shoulders, back of the arms, other arm, inside, outside. Again, work with your body, do less or more depending on what you need, what is good or not good for you. Intuitively, you are tapping acupoints, which is again opening up the blockages, getting the energy to flow. So you can be again lively, awake, energized, healthy. And lastly, let's kind of shake it off, either arms, palms up and down, or breathing in and letting go. And lastly, like always, let's rub our palms, put the warmth over our eyes, our face. And let's come back, taking our time, to our chairs. Okay. So from the chakra descriptions, I invite you now, let's take some actions. Because again, psychology and studies and literature tells us that it is important to take actions. Just thinking about it is not enough. So I would like you to ask yourself this question. Bring your diaries, bring your notebooks, or simply a piece of paper. Let's go beyond, again, thinking and feeling. What color, sound, or affirmation resonated with you today? And what area of your life would you like to balance or heal? Now, again, it can be one or any one of these, a combination of them, or like I said, you can do all of them. And just as a reference point, I have the affirmations here on the left. I have some of those colors that can help you balance at the bottom. So let's take about 30 seconds, minute to write, I would like to balance, and fill in the blanks. An affirmation, one or more that you'd like to pick from the left that I commit. I will repeat, especially when I'm feeling that need. And to balance and heal, I will bring in colors, images, or spend time to be with these colors or these qualities. Okay. If anyone would like to share, you can put it in the chat. I'll share with you what I wrote. I would like to balance love. And the affirmations, I am loved, I love, and I'll even write unconditional love. It's one of my practices to continue to repeat. And I wrote that I'll bring in more colors of a red, green, or brown. So matter of fact, I'm going to find a small plant that I used to have in front of my desk and bring it back here to help me stay grounded, or take a break from just continuously looking at the screens most of my day with my work. All right, so going into the chat, things if I missed before, like classical dance. Yep, that's a wonderful way again to heal with music, with sound. And love chants. Yes, again, if chants works for you, if you want to balance any of the chakras, I'll share in the email, again, the sounds of any of those chakras. You can simply repeat or chant that specific mantra, and what it will do is it will open that area up. I would like to focus on the throat. Yes, I think that's a wonderful one. And matter of fact, one of the pranayamas, if I remind you, that we had done, I think it was last week or the week before, specifically worked on the throat area as well when we did. So again, go back to that affirmation. I am expressive in love. Beautiful. The colors green and red. Yes, beautiful. Okay. So thank you. Maybe a green plant and wear a red scarf. Yes, that can, again, many ways, many simple ways for us to find ways. And that is the beauty of Ayurveda that I love, that there could be hundreds of ways. And the question is, first, can we recognize that we're out of balance? And we know that, right? Like as an example, I know that when I get angry, whether it's with my kids or my wife, then all of a sudden I know I'm getting angry. I said something and I need to do something, right? And it's about catching ourselves and then doing something right after that. All right. So with that, towards the end, I would like us to, we have a wonderful guest, if she's here. I would like to talk about further healing through sight. And all doshas can benefit, like we've been saying. And the idea is to go beyond the image, to work with what is chromotherapy, you may have heard of, right? Colors. Another beautiful image here on the right, what you can see is you can simply think of 7 colors of roses, one for each of the chakras, right? Or the rainbow, which has all the colors. Ultimately, they all come together. And chromotherapy is also healing therapy that can be used, right, to for our well-being, increasing the well-being. And the 7 colors of the rainbow each has healing properties. They can help us balance mind and body, right? And simply by, again, focusing on different colors, they affect our moods. I think we all hopefully have realized that by now. And Lisa, thank you. You wore all blue today. Beautiful. So I guess you're more expressive. You're working on being expressive today. I'll invite you now to sit back. And let's bring our attention. Let's sit back. Let's relax. Let's bring our awareness again to our breathing. Let's just acknowledge and notice, how is our breathing in this moment? Maybe shallow, maybe a little bit more deeper than what we started with. Or it may be deeper, whatever it is. Let's just acknowledge it with a word, labeling it. And let's take 3 cleansing breaths, or simply Let's take deeper than normal 3 breaths. With each breath, as we inhale, let's go slightly slower and deeper than the last breath. And each time we exhale, let's let go a little. Whatever you feel is not needed in your body. And after the 3 breaths, let's let the breathing go in its natural mode. And now with our third eye, let's visualize a beautiful red color, or think of a red rose, or visualize your root chakra at the base of your spine. Feeling the red color flow, feeling safe, grounded, rooted in your existence with a beautiful, nice red energy. You can also repeat, I am safe. I am safe. And next, with your third eye, visualize a beautiful green color, or think of trees or a plant. And thinking about your heart or your heart chakra, let the color flow all around your heart. And feel the love you're generating towards yourself. Feel the love then generating from yourself to others and to the world. It can be someone close to you, a child, a family member, and expanding it to anyone in the world. And next, let both the colors red and green find their ways together, like a movement of infinite bliss. And feel that you're centered, you're grounded, and your heart is open to receive love, and your heart is open to give love. Next, let's move to the next chakra. With your third eye, visualize a beautiful orange color, like the sun just rising. And visualize your sacral chakra and let the color flow all around your pubic bone. Feel the pleasure of being in human body, the pleasure of enjoying the material world, the pleasure of creating your life. And next, let's, from your third eye, visualize the beautiful color blue, like an ocean, like a river, pond, or a sky. And visualizing your throat chakra, let the color flow all around your neck. And you can say the words, I am expressive. And repeat it without thinking, without worrying about whether you are or not. I am expressive. And imagine and feel that you're able to put your words to your experiences, words to your sensations, words on your feelings. Let both the colors, orange and blue, find their ways together like a movement of infinite bliss. Feel yourself protected, feel yourself safe in the dance of life. And moving on, next, from your third eye, visualize the beautiful yellow color, like the sun in the midday. Visualize your solar plexus chakra and let the color flow all around your body. And feel that you are powerful in your own existence. And if your mind counters, say the words, I am powerful. And again, regardless of what mind thinks, keep repeating, I am powerful. Feel the joy, feel the playfulness of your inner child. And next, with your third eye, visualize the beautiful violet color, imagining a violet flower or grapes or an eggplant. And visualizing your crown chakra, let the colors flow all around your head. Connect to your spiritual self. Connect to your divine source or force. And say, I am divine. I am divine. Let both the colors, yellow and violet, find their ways together like a movement of infinite bliss. And feel your inner joyful self connect with your wise, divine destiny. And lastly, with your third eye, let's visualize beautiful indigo color, immersing yourself in this beautiful color like the color of the night sky, or at the end of the day, the sky, and the beginning of the night. Let yourself be guided by this indigo energy down to your intuitive inner and sacred world. And as you breathe in and out, You can repeat, I am intuitive. I am intuitive. Now let's let the breathing go in its natural cycle. Simply stay with whatever is coming up, whether it's a color, affirmation, an area of your life. You've acknowledged, you worked on it, or you can do more work on. And taking your time, let's start moving our body. Move your fingers, your toes, your body side to side. Bring your palms together. Again, rubbing them lightly. And with a slight bow, being grateful for this time, for this body. Putting the palms over your eyes, your face, your hair, head, neck, shoulders, arms. Give yourself a nice big hug. Feeling safe, feeling loved, feeling expressive, feeling intuitive, divine. Taking your time, coming back, opening your eyes if you have them closed. So welcome back. So we'll share the recording as well. If you like to just do this meditation, all of the chakras or one of the chakras, do that, and then I recommend that you sit with this transformation, let the process happen. Some of these can take a lot of time, whether it's your communication or it's your heart. But the more you can do, whichever way, whether it's the color that resonates, whether it's the affirmation, whether it's the mantra, whether it's the sound, little by little, baby steps, micro steps. So with that, I would love to hear from you in the chat. What did you write down? What did you feel? Even more important, what did you feel during the meditation? Which area of your life or your body that you feel is out of balance? And further, what can you take back today? There's something very, very transformative that happens when we write, when we share, when we go beyond saying I will do it, thinking I will do it. Saying is important, saying it loud is important, writing it is important. So let's see. Anna, thank you for sharing, feeling blissful. And I think from before also, I think there were a couple of shares here. Focusing on the throat, expressing in love. Feeling peaceful, feeling in sync, beautiful, feeling connected. Yes, feeling calm. So again, please continue to work on yourself, and we will share the recordings. And I also have in details all of these wonderful affirmations there for you. And we look forward to having you next week. Have a wonderful day and week ahead. Bye-bye. Harry, thank you. I feel more peaceful after the lesson and meditation. Thank you. We'll see you again. And Lisa, thank you. Want to get out release and may have settled for organizing home. Yes, reducing clutter can be, again, a way, wonderful way. Putting a small plant. That's my to-do today. So thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.